Meet 0GP Bond free to play. My goal is to obtain an old school RuneScape bond from scratch in free to play worlds only. There will be no shortcuts, trading over items from old accounts, just raw grinding to obtain that RuneScape bond. Okay guys, as you can see, I'm on a brand new RuneScape account at the famous Tutorial Island. It's been a very long time since I've been here, so I'm going to be a little bit rusty obtaining GP in the early stages as fast as possible, but I suppose that is what makes this series entertaining and unique. I'm going to get some early levels by killing these chickens just north of Lumbridge Castle. The good thing about these chickens is that they will never hit you, so it's definitely the best place to start your account. Also, the raw chickens will come in handy as there is a cooking pot in the farmer's hut to cook the chickens for later on. Now I'm going to take a trip to Stronghold of Security just west of Varrock. Now something I didn't know when I started my main account, and that is talking to the Count Check at Lumbridge Graveyard. It can actually teleport you straight to the Stronghold. So here we are at the Stronghold of Security, where many players have died in the early stages of their account, including myself, but this is the perfect place to grab the 10k GP along with fancy or colourful and fighter boots. There's room 1 completed with 2k coins as a reward, room 2 completed with a 3k reward. Now on room 3 I had to get some more food as the monsters are a much higher level than me and I can easily die, so better to be safe than sorry. And on this chest I get 5k coins. And in the very last room, of course, I choose the colourful boots. Now, I need to complete a few common free-to-play quests as I need 10 quest points along with 100 total level and 20 hours of game time, as there is a restriction from selling items on the Grand Exchange, as you can see on screen now. Not quite sure how long this restriction has been in place for, but I understand why Jagex implemented this rule. Everyone on old school RuneScape should do Cook's Assistant as their first quest. It's very quick and it shouldn't take you any longer than 5 minutes to complete, and after completing this I got 1 quest point and 300 cooking XP, which will boost me to level 3 cooking. Pirate's Treasure is another fast free to play quest. All I need to do is bring the pirate a bottle of rum from Karamja by smuggling this back to Port Sarim using a crate nearby. And after completing this I got 2 quest points and a chest that contains a gold ring, a cut emerald and 450 GP. Rune Mysteries is another short quest, but it does involve a lot of running around, but this quest is simply taking a gift to Aubrey in Varrock, then take the note that it gives you back to the Archmage, and after completing this I get 1 quest point. The famous quest Romeo and Juliet. This also involves a fair amount of running around, as you are going back and forth to Romeo and Juliet, and in the end giving Juliet a potion that kills her, which shows a short cutscene, and after completing this I get 5 quest points, which is really good. And lastly we have Sheep Herder. This one is to simply shear 20 sheep and make 20 pieces of wool using the spinning wheel. Take them back to Fred the Farmer and the quest is completed. This will give me 1 quest point, 150 crafting XP and 60 GP. Okay, so now I have 5 defense, I can now use steel armor, which will help when killing the cows. I'm going to be here for a little while as there is a decent money maker early on, which is collecting cow hides, then running to Ellis the Tanner in Al Kharid. so I can get some hard leather, and the OSRS wiki says that I can get around 65k profit per hour and around 10k combat XP and 3.5k hit points XP per hour, which is not too bad. Tanning is very cheap, costing around 3 GP per cowhide, so once I have enough money, I'll start buying the cowhides from the Grand Exchange, which will speed up my GP per hour. Now, I thought I would do some woodcutting for a bit, as I want to switch things up and try different ways of making GP early on, so the video isn't too boring. And I hit 16 woodcutting. I only just realised that I need 15 for oak trees, but an extra level won't hurt. I will be going back to woodcutting at some point, but for now I'm going to sell the logs and the leather that I've got so far, just to see how much GP I've made. Had to knock down the price of the items a little, which is a bit annoying, but that's the Grand Exchange for you. So with the 35k I managed to make, I can now buy my own cowhides. Had to slightly bump up the price as expected, but got a little bit of GP back, which is always nice to see. And I will be doing this for a while just to rack up the GP a little bit. My only issue with this method is the stamina, as it drains super fast. So once again, I'm going to sell all the leather that I tanned earlier, which didn't take too long at all, and made a nice 47k. Which means I can buy more cowhides, which means more GP. It took a little while to buy the cowhides, around 15 to 20 minutes, so once again had to bump up the price slightly, but still will make a nice profit, so can't complain. Couldn't finish all the cowhides as I ran out of money, so after selling the leather in my inventory, I made a nice 54k. Now after a little while of doing this moneymaker, I managed to tan over 600 leather, which made me a lovely profit of 124k, which means I can move on to a better moneymaker, so looking forward to that. So the next moneymaker I will be trying out is creating yellow dyes, which can be made by Aggie in Draenor Village. Now the OSRS wiki says you can make around 127k GP per hour, which is pretty good for a free to play moneymaker, and all I need is onions and coins, as it costs 5 GP to make each dye. Some of the onions didn't buy in the Grand Exchange, but still had a decent amount with me for the time being. Now this moneymaker is a little bit click intensive, but it's not too bad once you get into a rhythm. All I'm doing is holding down the spacebar and using the yellow dye on Aggie one at a time. The rest of the onions bought, which is great, so now I can continue with this moneymaker and finish all the yellow dyes. Now just under 1 hour I finished making all 1248 yellow dyes, so going to sell these in the Grand Exchange. It did take a little while as they were selling little by little, but it was worth it in the end, and I made a lovely 235k out of it, so very nice. So good to see my bank value go up as well. Right guys, I'm going to leave this here for episode 1 as I've done a fair bit, but stay tuned for episode 2 where we'll be gaining a lot of levels and racking up that GP and get closer to my first mil on the account. Thanks for watching, please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.